There might not be anything better than getting a new toy, with one exception, and that is justifying its purchase by integrating it into the workflow of the shop and not only making things easier and faster, but hopefully better as well. I mean, that's what we're all striving for, right? To produce the highest quality items that we can either use for ourselves, sell to customers, or my absolute personal favorite, give away as gifts. Over the holiday season, I picked myself up a 3D printer, and I am so excited to jump into that and to learn everything there is about 3D printing. A couple months back, I separated this whole system here to make it not only easier, but to make it safer for me to clean this canister. If you're interested in how and why I did that, I'll leave a link up there in the corner. While I was doing it though, I incorporated some crimes, as Adam Savage likes to call them, and it's time to fix those crimes. So I'm gonna start the justification process right here by printing 2 brand new adapters to go between here and make things a whole lot easier. Here is a close-up of the horrors here. This is a 2-piece clamshell connector, and it's meant to go on a flange that is up here on the motor assembly. So in order to keep this, what I did was I just cut a couple of rings, one that'll fit the hose and then one that'll fit the inside of this clamshell here. But I was getting a lot of airflow out of here and out of here, so I squeezed some silicone in there. And then I also did around this ring, because you have to clamp this tight here while also clamping it down to the top of the canister. And as you can see, that silicone acted like some lubricant, and the back end of this adapter back there fell down. So it's ugly, it's hideous. This one's not so bad. I got this fern cone, I got the adapter up in there, but it is definitely cutting down on the airflow. So I'm gonna print a brand new adapter to go into here and a brand new adapter to go down into here, and then I'll be able to just bolt it down. There's a rubber gasket in there that I'm gonna reuse, and I think I'm gonna put a new piece of hose on there, just something that'll kind of match the aesthetic just a little bit better. So that's the plan for this video right here. This was the upper ring, and you can see how thick that wall has to be, because you still got to leave enough meat on here to be able to glue these and clamp these all together. And then this is that bottom one. This thing is ugly. And again, you can also see how thick all of this is. And with this being such a sharp, blunt blockage of air, I think that was cutting down on the airflow. So even if I did have this thing maybe a little bit thinner, the blunt edges of all this is going to cause turbulence and all that stuff on the machine. So if I were to measure this real quick, I've got 3 3/8 ID right there. So I need that to be a lot bigger. I can go really close to 4-inch. I mean, in a perfect world, I could make it 4-inch because that's the size of the hose that I have. So let's see how much better we can get that. Again, that is 3 3/8 right there. And then this one down here, that is the same. That is 3 3/8. So let's see how much better we can do. Let's get rid of these pieces of crap right here. Let's print ourselves some new ones, hook them up, and see how much better we do. So what I'm thinking here is something like this. I will have a cylinder at the top. It'll be about, I don't know, a 1-inch landing there. That should be plenty enough room for me to get that hose on there and then that worm clamp. Then I'm just gonna flare it out as we get down to the bottom to hit the diameter of the top of the canister. I believe that's like 5.5 inches. So I might go like 5 1/4, like 5 3/8, just so that there's no turbulence in there in case I get that wrong. Then I just have a flange there at the bottom. I'll make that probably about an 1/8 inch thick. And then just those 6 clearance holes for the bolts. I believe there's 6 of them bolts, 360 degrees in a circle, so they should be 60 degrees. So I should be able to kind of lay that out pretty easily. And then once I have that done, just like this, I will model it up in Fusion 360. I'm not going to show you guys how I did this because I made about 999 mistakes and I hit that undo button the same amount of times, but the last iteration is what this is right here. I like the way that looks. So I'm just gonna send this over to the Bamboo Slicer software. Look at me, talking like a real 3D printer there. So I'm gonna slice this thing up and send it over to the 3D printer and do my first actual functional print and start that justification process. It took me this long to get into 3D printing because it was a lot to take on, a lot to learn, a lot to figure out. When I started this channel, I didn't know if I wanted to do it. I have a bit of a problem where my brain won't talk to my mouth just right. I think it's a bit of a stuttering issue there, whatever, it's all tied together. But these videos are really hard to make. Through the power of DaVinci Resolve, which I had to learn really well to be able to cut out and edit out all of those mistakes, I was able to continue growing in front of the camera, and the community has been great. You guys have left me a lot of positive comments saying that you've learned from the mistakes that I've committed, and that you've also told me about the mistakes that you've committed, and I think it's helped everybody that's watched these videos grow. So I encourage you guys to try something hard, get out of your comfort zone. It's only a little bit of fear, it only lasts for a little while, and you look back and you're like, man, you know, why did I wait so long? CNC was the first machine I got. Same thing, I was like, man, I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. 3D printer now, again, why did I wait so long? There's gonna be mistakes. There's gonna be bumps along the road. There's gonna be a lot of DaVinci Resolve editing on my end. But get out there, guys, do it. Try something hard, challenge yourself. You will be thankful. This is the old upper adapter, and this is the brand new upper adapter. And you can just see how much more gradual that airflow is going to be able to flow down there, and just how much easier that's going to be. And if I set these like this, you can see how much thicker that inner ring is. So that was cutting down on the airflow and adding unwanted turbulence to the inside of the system. So I'm glad to get rid of that. And then this is the old hideous clamshell, and that is the new one. I think that is much better. It's going to allow much better airflow, just like the upper one there. So I think this is gonna be perfect for what I need. They're thinner, they're smoother, and I think it's just gonna be a lot easier to get the hose on and off of these. So I'm gonna hook these up and show you what I got. Job justification number 1 is complete. Feels great to fix those crimes that I had inside this hose here. Not only is it going to be easier to get this hose on and off this adapter here because it is smooth plastic, but through some really crude math, I estimate probably about a 25% on the modest side increase in flow inside of here, and that's just going to lead to more power and more suction at the tool. If you guys like this sort of content, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. And until next time, take it easy.